Before starting this video, let's talk about Obito Uchiha. I just have a moment of silence of him for a second. This dude is insane. For starters, he can quite literally go through you like nothing ever happened. Like, I'm sorry, did I, like, this is the most creepiest thing you could ever do. And that's the thing when it comes with Obito. Obito not only can do that, but he can probably do a Susanoo like no other, like, shinobi ever done. The thing with Obito scares the living hell out of me. For some reason, not Madara's powers, not any of that. And the thing is, Obito himself does not scare me. It's just his powers scared the living hell out of me, right? And that's the thing, though. You know, Madara should be scary. He held the 10 tails inside of his body. But for some reason, in my opinion, Obito's power is just worse than you could ever imagine. For starters, if you want to beat this dude, okay, it's just original state, you need to go through time and space. So if you don't know what that is, that's pretty much his power. He pretty much puts his body inside time and space himself. That's how he goes through people, right? I'm not even kidding. So if you want to defeat him, you gotta have some sort of like crazy power. Not like the Amaterasu or something. I'm talking like black hole type powers, you know, Kakashi's power, in order for you to beat him. And that is hard to get. You know, most shinobis in Naruto only has fireball earth style. You get this man, you know, in a battle with a fireball jutsu, swear it and hand to God, bro, you won't defeat him. No matter how fast you are, if this dude knows exactly, you know, how to catch up with you, he will kill you. Yeah, Obito, that's how it is. And that's the thing. Half of the time, Obito doesn't need to go full power mode. The only reason why he went full power mode is like Minato. For God's sake, he's Minato. Or people like Naruto, because Naruto was insane and stuff like that. But even then, just imagine a regular fight and all he does is just walks up to you and punches you and then straight up stabs you with a kunai. That's how strong Obito is. And not only strong, but scary. Yeah. Very scary. Because imagine just, you know, you're sleeping one day in the night, and just imagine, you know, in his villain arcs, you're literally sleeping, and he just goes through the walls and just says, I'm gonna get your powers, and it just grabs your eye because you have a Sharingan. Just straight up. That's the thing about Obito. Obito can sneak up at you like nothing before. And this dude also helped Itachi to kill the entire Uchiha clan. And mind you, there were very powerful shinobis in the Uchiha clan. I'm not gonna lie to you. For example, Sasuke's dad. Apparently he was very powerful. And also, I'm pretty sure other stuff, like, you know, because Uchihas were technically the police force. So technically, there were other people, you know, in the Uchiha clan that was very powerful. So keep this in mind. This man defeated the entire Uchiha clan. And sure, Madara is more powerful, but he did it to the point where he was very sneaky about it. How do I know about this? How I know that he's very sneaky about it? Because he can go through items. Like, I'm not even kidding. And not only that, Minato, sure, he outsmarted him because his speed, but even though Obito, here's the thing, if Minato never had his speed and it was just his brain, Minato would have never defeated him. That's in my opinion. Why? Because Obito is crazy. Like Obito can easily just go through and punch you, like straight up. Also, in the war, he was very powerful. Also, another thing is, people underestimate him very, very much, though, for some reason, because he couldn't contain, you know, the 10 tails. Mind you, this dude, you know, at least contained it for like 10 minutes or probably an hour or something. And even then, you know, this dude, Obito, not only contained the 10 tails, but, you know, he controlled it pretty well for a person who couldn't control something like this. So, and that's the thing, though, when it comes with Madara here's the thing. Obito has no bloodlines besides the Uchiha. That is absolutely insane if you really think about it, because there's really nothing mentioned about him in the past. But even then, the only crazy part is he's an Uchiha. Okay, that's established. Madara is the reincarnation, I'm pretty sure, of either Ashura or Indra. And that's crazy enough because there were gods. So the fact that Obito quite literally went ahead and controlled it for a limited time for a person who doesn't even have crazy powers, that shows to show how crazy Obito is. If he really did have these reincarnations, you know what I'm saying? If he had the Andra or Indra or whatever, he would be insane. Also, it kind of shows that Obito also has probably as much chakra as a Nutsutsuki. Or, no, not technically a Nutsutsuki, but Otsutsuki, or I think that's how you call it, Otsutsuki, or no, wait, Otsutsuki, Akatsuki. Those alien creatures, those alien creatures with Kaguya. I'm pretty sure he has probably the same exact powers, if not half of his powers, right? And that's the thing when it comes with Obito. Despite that, and despite him being human, and there's really nothing big and nothing really big bloodlines going on, this dude really knows how to show off his powers without really showing off. I mean, for God's sake, Naruto barely beat Obito unless he got the whole, Sage of the Six Paths. He couldn't even defeat Madara or Obito. Plus, the only reason why Obito quite literally got defeated was because Madara stabbed him in the back and Naruto changed his life. And even then, this dude was powerful enough to, by death, give him the remaining amount of chakra that he practically had. And also, he did one giant, dimension pull. And that's the thing, though. When it comes to his powers and quite literally going ahead and go into a different dimension, it costs a lot of chakra. So the fact that he went through dimension to dimension just to save, and yes, it was with Sakura's help, but still, it's pretty crazy the fact that he had the physical strength and he went to just save Sasuke is insane. Just letting you know, if he had extra chakra, he would have done it with ease. I'm not even kidding. Sure, this guy couldn't control the Ten Tails. Sure, he had very bad control when it came with his powers. But even then, when it comes with Obito, this dude is super, super strong. Probably, if he wasn't really all of that crazy level power, I would probably say he could probably be in the whole Hashirama era. That's how strong Obito really feels like. Because the thing is, despite all of that, he doesn't have anything special to him besides his Sharingan. And even then, when it comes with Uchihas, a lot of times there's really nothing much going on with the Sharingan unless you just, become, I don't know, Itachi and practice it 24/7 until you're good at it, right? So when it comes with Obito, the fact is he had so much chakra, so much will. Dude, it really did feel like he was the reincarnate of himself. I mean, this man is crazy. He also has his own dimension. I mean, did anyone ever think of that for a second when Kakashi and Obito fight? They had their own dimension fighting. I just need you to briefly understand how powerful this is. I'm not talking about, two dimension, what I'm saying? Like very little amount of dimensions or like, what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I'm not talking about like one small dimension that literally, doesn't really do anything. I'm talking about a full-on space and time dimension that he had to himself just because that was his powers. And imagine if he worked on that very, very hard to the point where he could create something out of that dimension. Here's the thing when it comes with Obito. Despite all that, this dude is crazy powerful. I mean, he could go time to space, he can teleport in Kaguya's area, and not only that, he can control the Ten Tails. Sure, for a limited time, but with a person who doesn't really have crazy amount of abilities as much as everyone else, he still could control a lot of things. And despite all that, this dude is very powerful. Sure, Madara gave him, the Rinnegan, gave him all of these amazing stuff. Despite all that, Obito is still a strong shinobi. This dude is not only strong, but he is more than capable of pretty much doing absolutely anything his heart desires. If he wanted to be a Hokage, he could have been a Hokage. Hey, do you want to be, a crazy Anbu Black Ops shinobi, but 10 times better? Go ahead. This guy was not only insane, he was absolutely terrifying. I haven't even mentioned the fact that he could also control the Rinnegan. Have I mentioned that? Despite all that, he really had nothing going forward for him within his own bloodline or even in the past to the point where he could do these stuff. Most of these stuff were offered, sure, by Madara, but the fact that he could control them without any, crazy, bloodlines like Naruto is crazy to me. I mean, let's be fair. Kakashi has some crazy bloodlines. Look at, other characters, right? Now, even though Kakashi doesn't have some crazy bloodlines, you gotta understand, or not some crazy. I'm saying even though Kakashi's bloodline wasn't shown, it was still stated how powerful he was. Like even his father. And imagine Kakashi's power. And despite all that, Obito really has no big bloodline to him And even then, he did the most craziest things overall. Just imagine him being the next Indra or Ashura, bro. He would have been something else. Anyways, that's pretty much it. And other than that, I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you think about Obito. And again, I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.